Hello, everybody. It's me, the Lego Dude, and today we're back with another live stream. I haven't live streamed in about 6 months.
Everybody, it's me, the Lego Dude, and today we're back with another live.
Whoops! It appears we had an issue with an echo. Back to where I was. I haven't live streamed in a few months, so I thought that today would be the perfect day to live stream for the 5th anniversary of my YouTube channel's first video upload. So we'll be getting started shortly with building the Ahsoka Tano's T6 shuttle. And we'll also be waiting for a couple more people to get into the comments. Hello, Kai Selena. It's good to see you in the comments. We'll just wait for a couple more people to join before we get started with building the Ahsoka Tano's T6 Jedi Shuttle. Also, in today's live stream, we'll be reviewing a Star Wars book, which I think I put in the thumbnail, and we'll also be looking at some new 2026 LEGO Star Wars leaks. Hopefully a couple more people will join in the live stream in the next few minutes before we get started. If anybody has any LEGO questions as well, make sure to leave them in the chat so I can look them over while I'm doing the live stream. And of course, if there's any problems with the microphone, make sure to let me know in the chat so I know if I should turn it up or down. Well, I think we'll just about be getting started now with opening up the Ahsoka Tano's T6 Jedi Shuttle. I do not want to break the box with the thumb tab, so I'll just open it up off screen with scissors. I'm not sure if I'm allowed to show that on screen, so I'll just do that. Hello, Muffins not found in the chat. Thank you for your comment in the chat, I guess. And thanks for joining in to watch the stream. Hello, LSOB Hip Hop. Thank you for your comments on the audio. Looks like we have 8 people in the stream now, so we'll just about get started with building the Ahsoka Tano's T6 Jedi Shuttle. I opened it off screen when nobody was looking, of course. It appears to have 4 bags. No, I miscounted. It looks like we have 6 bags in here. Oh, okay. Hello, Kai Selena. I'll give you a shout out here with your comment. And now let's get started with the build. We have 6 bags. We have 6 bags in the Ahsoka T6 shuttle. We have one big instruction manual, which unfortunately doesn't have any art on the front cover of the instructions. It's a shame that LEGO switched over to this from the old design for their instruction manuals where they included the box art or some type of art on it, but this still does look fine. And then we have one small sticker sheet included, which is nice to see. Too many stickers does not do well for sets, so it's good to see that they only have 6 here for this set. So that should be bag 1. And then we have the sub bag in bag 1. And I'll be trying to keep the instruction manual off screen so it doesn't cause too many distractions while we're building. But of course, no guarantees I'll be able to keep it fully off the screen. So it looks like, first off, in this bag, we have a couple of minifigures which we're going to build. First off, we have Hu Yang, who is both from the Ahsoka TV show and also from an arc in the Clone Wars where he was on the Jedi Padawan training ship called the Crucible, where he was training Padawans along with Ahsoka Tano. And then, of course, he made his reappearance in the Ahsoka Star Wars TV show several years after that. It was surprising to see LEGO return to this character after so many years. However, it is still very cool. Now, just trying to find his jetpack piece or backpack piece. It's got to be around here. Ah, here it is. So here we have Lego's new, well, it's not new anymore. It's over a year old now. But here we have Lego's Hu Yang minifigure. It comes with a nice backpack, and it has an interesting design for a droid. Usually with droids, Lego will just make a special mold for droids, but with Hu Yang, they made him a minifigure, and then they made his body droid-shaped with space left outside on the prints for you to see, so that it looks like a droid. I think it's an interesting design for the Hu Yang minifigure, and for this minifigure specifically, it turned out pretty good. I would not be interested in seeing them do this with more droids, though. I think that it just uniquely, all the right circumstances came together for Hu Yang to end up being a good inclusion in minifigure form instead of droid form. So we'll put Hu Yang off to the side right now. We don't want to lose him. And now we'll get to building the Ahsoka minifigure. Now we just need to find the other body parts. Ah, here they are. Okay. So in the Ahsoka TV show, Ahsoka had clear lightsabers, which is represented quite well here with the clear lightsaber pieces that they gave for Ahsoka. They also updated her head tail things to be the correct length, unlike the previous version, which still looked good but had them be the incorrect length. So like this, they're a lot more accurate to both the TV show and to the cartoon. So this is another pretty good minifigure. The prints on the torso and leg are both very good, accurate to the Ahsoka TV show. The two white lightsabers, I think this is the first time we've ever gotten white lightsabers in LEGO Star Wars. Those look pretty cool as well, and it's overall just a solid minifigure. So we'll put that aside now, and we'll now get started building the T6 shuttle itself. Just need a second to get situated here so I can have the instruction manual in a good spot without moving the mic. So while we're building, if anyone has any LEGO questions in the chat, make sure to let me know and I'll answer that. And this is going to be a more relaxed style build and Q&A at the same time for now. So if you have any questions about LEGOs, make sure to ask them. Going back to the scene I mentioned earlier from the Clone Wars where Hu Yang is in, yes, Kai Selena is correct. They did get attacked by pirates in the Clone Wars show. So if you have access to watching the Clone Wars and you haven't watched that arc yet, I would recommend doing it. It's a pretty good arc of the Clone Wars. Well, it seems like we are getting started off tough here with all the Technic pieces. I'm pretty sure this will end up being a base part of the build, though, so that's fine for making sure that the build has a strong structure. For most of their sets, at least, except for maybe the Republic Juggernaut, but we won't get into that right now. LEGO are very good at designing their sets so that they're structurally sound. Oh, we have a question from LSOB Hip Hop. Do you think there is a difference in quality in sets made for display versus the regular ones? Uh, I think that the sets made for display probably have a lot more emphasis on just being good for display. The sets for play usually, I think, will be better for play, so you'll be able to shake them around a lot more and move them around a lot more because they're designed for kids to be shaking around. The display sets, I think, are probably usually more fragile. If that answers your question. So it's a little interesting seeing where the build's going right now. I'm assuming this is going to be part of the base of the set, but of course I'm not completely sure. We have another question from LSOB Hip Hop. Do you think Lego uses different materials for the display ones? Sometimes Lego will include more materials that are necessary for the display ones. For example, the UCS Jabba sail barge just a year back was able to include the cloth pieces for the sail barges, which I have no doubt they only included because it was a display set. Otherwise, though, I think they by and large use the same materials as any average set. Next up, we have a question from Kai Salina. Do you think Lego uses different materials for display ones? Oh, same question. What a coincidence. Uh, well, I just answered that question, so I hope that it was a good clarifying statement. So if you have any follow up, make sure to ask it in the comments too. So as far as I can tell, I think this might be part of the cockpit section instead. I'm still not very sure though. Kai Selena says, I want to know if Lego make any more Bionicle sets. I'm not sure if Lego are going to be making any more Bionicle sets. However, it is possible that they do make one-offs of Bionicle sets. But with the theme being canceled a few years back, I doubt that they're going to bring back any full waves of Bionicle sets. So we have 8 viewers in the live stream today. Welcome everybody. It's good to see you all tuning in for the live stream. I'm very thankful to see you all here. Thank you for all tuning in. Oh, it appears we've lost the source of lighting. That's fine though. We have another question from Atono. Do you think Lego uses different chemistry for the display set's plastic? No. I think that they use pretty much the same pieces. It's just that they're more focused on the displayability of the set with the big display sets rather than the stability of them. As long as you're careful with them, of course, they probably won't fall apart. But I'm pretty sure that Lego are more focused on just making them look nice than they are with making them uh stably sound, if that makes sense. So it appears I built a step wrong in here, and that's very unfortunate. We have a new question from Kai Selina. Do Lego make any zombie Star Wars or any other sets? So I think you're referring to the zombie Star Wars books from the early 2010s. Death Trooper and Red Harvest, if I remember correctly, were their names. Unfortunately, Lego haven't made any sets based off either of those books. If those concepts were to be adapted into Lego, though, were to be adapted into the main Star Wars universe, as part of that concept was with the zombie stormtroopers in the Ahsoka TV show, then I think there is a real possibility we could get actual sets based off zombie stormtroopers or zombie Star Wars characters. For example, in the Ahsoka TV show, we saw the undead stormtroopers back to life by the Night Sisters, and Lego went ahead and made zombie stormtroopers in a couple of the other sets based off the Ahsoka TV show. So I wouldn't say that the possibility is zero. It's just at the moment it's unlikely until we have any information on more zombie Star Wars concepts being brought into the main Star Wars universe. So it appears that we're almost done with bag 1. After we finish bag 1, I will either move to bag 2 or we will be taking a short intermission. I think we'll be fine with moving to bag 2 then, though. Oh, we have another question from Kai Selina. What about Lego Geonosian Zombies? I do not think that Lego have ever made the Geonosian Zombies in Lego, which is unfortunate because they were interesting characters. However, with it having been so long since those episodes released and Lego showing no inclination to go back to making sets based off that part of the Clone Wars, I think unfortunately, it's doubtful that we get Geonosian zombie minifigures of any kind. It's probably more likely that we get some sort of zombie stormtrooper concept again in the future, I think. Welcome to the live stream, Jonesy56. It's good to see you here. Just in case you've missed what we've been doing, I've been building the Ahsoka's T6 shuttle so far and answering questions from people in the chat. I do, of course, apologize for the more poor lighting, everybody. I was not expecting my other source of light to go out during the middle of the stream. So for next time, I'll, make sure that doesn't happen. Hmm. Now, it appears I forgot a piece in the previous step, so it's a good thing we noticed that here. It's very unfortunate whenever you forget a couple pieces near the beginning, and then once you get towards the middle of the build, then you just see all the pieces that you forgot, and that never ends well. Oh, we have a question from Jonesy56. Have you seen the new UCS Death Star? If so, what are your thoughts? I have seen the new UCS Death Star, and I actually made a video about it a couple days ago. And basically, my thoughts on the UCS Death Star are I do like the build. It looks very nice. It's a very nice display set with a lot of the rooms from A New Hope and Return of the Jedi. However, it's kind of disappointing when put in the context of how awesome it would have been as a ginormous sphere of the Death Star. The 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 build itself, of course, I like calling it the UCS waffle. Not to hate on it just because it's funny, but I like the build. It's a very good build. It includes the scenes where, for example, Luke Skywalker and Leia jumped across the Death Star corridor. It includes the scene with Han Solo running away from the stormtroopers, the Death Star trash compactor, the Death Star meeting room, and then it has the Death Star 2 final battle all the way at the top, which are all very nice inclusions. However, like I said earlier, it's disappointing that we got it as a UCS waffle instead of a full sphere. On top of that, the minifigure selection definitely feels lackluster. None of the minifigures had dual printing other than the Hot Tub Stormtrooper, which is probably the best minifigure there by far. Great minifigure. But yeah, other than the Hot Tub Stormtrooper, and none of the other minifigures had dual molded legs, which is quite disappointing, especially with the Imperial officers or the other minifigures who obviously looked like they needed it, or in particular with C3PO, who had dual molded legs in a $6 keychain and in another much smaller UCS set, but didn't have dual molded legs here, which is a very strange exclusion by Lego, since they do have the capability to make it, which we've seen before, but then they chose not to include it, even though it's accurate. So I hope. Thank you, Jonesy56. I'm glad you agree with my thoughts on the Death Star. So we have another question from Kai Selina. Who do you think would win, a Lion Pack or a Rancor? That's an interesting question. A Lion Pride doesn't have that many lions. I think maybe 10 to 20. I'm not completely sure. I'm not too educated on the nature of lions, but a Rancor is the size of a science fiction animal. So I think the Rancor would win because of how ginormous it is. Thank you for the interesting question, though, Kai Selena. Oh, we have another comment from Jonesy56. Maybe they're only putting the dual molded C3PO and C3PO related sets. Mm, I would agree with that, but they did put it in the UCS Luke's Land Speeder, which isn't specifically C3PO related. So if they were going to put it there, then I don't know why they wouldn't put it in the UCS Death Star. But you do have a point. Lego might have a reason why they didn't include the dual molded C3PO in the UCS Death Star, but since they haven't said anything regarding that so far, I'm just not sure if I think that that's true, or that they had a specific reason for it, other than they just didn't feel like it. Of course, as time goes on, though, we'll see, and I might be proven completely wrong. So maybe they do have a good reason for not putting it in. So thank you everybody for your questions so far. This has been my most active live stream, I think, out of the 3 I've done. I'm very glad to see everybody tuning in and asking questions in the chat. Well, this is a piece I have never seen before. I've never seen this piece before. Instead of just having one of the pieces with the one stud on top, it's two of them attached together. I have never seen that before. That's interesting. So it looks like we are just finishing up with bag 1 here, and I'm still not exactly sure what piece of the shuttle we're building. It's going along well, though. We're making good progress. We've been live streaming for about half an hour so far, and we finished the first bag. We've gotten a lot of questions done, so it's been good work with the stream so far. Thank you everybody who's tuned in. We have 11 people in the chat now. Thank you all for tuning in to watch me talk and build Legos. Thank you for tuning in, Jonesy56, and I'll make sure to see you back later in the stream. So see you later. So hello to the people that just tuned in. We're at 10 viewers now. A couple people tuned out, and then a couple people tuned in. Just in case you don't know what we're doing right now, we are currently building the Ahsoka Tano's T6 Jedi shuttle based off the Ahsoka Tano TV show, and we are also answering questions. I'm also answering questions in the chat as a Q&A. So if you have any Lego questions or any Star Wars questions, make sure to ask them in the chat, and I will answer them while I'm building. So we have now completed bag one. As we can see, it is this section of the T6 shuttle. I'm still not exactly sure where we are at right now, but it looks cool. So it's going well. So here, of course, we have the legendary brick separator for separating all the bricks that we need to get separated. Always comes in handy. Always good for separating the Lego pieces, which you would have no chance of getting apart otherwise. So it's good that they included one. Moving on to bag two now. We will build bag two, and then after that, we will be taking a short intermission. Oh, it appears that I have lost a piece. Well, we'll get that back later. So bag two seems to be a lot less of a task than bag one is, so hopefully we'll get this done quickly. So just to go over a little bit of what our later schedule will be for the live stream, after I finish building the Ahsoka T6 shuttle, or if it takes too long and I have to save it for another live stream, we will be moving into talking about some new 2026 Lego Star Wars leaks that we've gotten over the past few days for some interesting sets for 2026 with some interesting never before seen features for Lego Star Wars. And then after that, I will be doing a quick book review at the end of the the new Star Wars book called Mask of Fear. Hello, Kai Selena. No worries. If you have a question, make sure to put it in the chat again so I can see it. Your other two questions may be too far up in the chat for me to easily see again. So we'll take a look at that once you've put it in the chat again. This has been quite an interesting build so far. This looks like a Star Wars ship of course, this looks like Jabba's sail barge is what I'm thinking of, as you can tell with the front. That's a very interesting little detail there. As soon as we can get this piece on, we can get moving on to the next part of the build. Okay, we've got that piece done now. And now we can answer the questions that we have in the chat here, okay, from Kai Selena. Who would win, a couple of lions or a rancor? Well, if you are talking about a pride of lions, I'm not completely educated on how big a pride of lions is. However, I guess it's no more than 20 lions. So if we had a bunch of lions versus a supernatural science fiction animal like the rancor, which is ginormous, I think that the rancor would win. But if anybody else is interested in answering that question, make sure to leave your thoughts on that in the comments as well. Who do you think would win, a pride of lions or a rancor? Apologies, everybody. It looks like we had a little bit of a difficulty with the camera. We've got that all sorted out now, though. I do not know when exactly I turned it in the incorrect direction, but we've got that all fixed up now. If there's any issues with the mic quality, make sure to let me know. I have the instruction manuals very close to it, and that might be covering it partially. I'm not exactly sure, though. So it looks like we're getting close to being done with bag 2, and like I said earlier, after we completed bag 2, I will be taking a short intermission for a break, and then we will come back shortly after that to complete bags 3 and 4. And then after that, I'll make a decision on whether we finish building the Ahsoka T6 shuttle today, or we move on to the other topics on our agenda and build the T6 shuttle in a live stream in the near future. We have another good question from Kai Selena. Have Lego made a Lego Rancor before? As of now, Lego have made two Lego Rancors, if I remember correctly. They made an older version and then the newer, more refined version in, if I remember correctly, it was the Rancor Pit in 2014 or 15, I want to say. And that was a very good Rancor that they made. It was a molded Rancor, which unfortunately, I don't think they would make a molded Rancor today. If they were to remake it, they would make it as a brick built Rancor. And while that does have the potential to be an interesting build, I think that the Rancor really needs to be a molded one-piece build for it to have the full menacing look of being a Rancor. If it was brick built, I just don't think it would have the same feel of being menacing. We are, of course, making good time here. We're almost done with bag two. And after we are done with bag two, we will be moving on to a short intermission and then a short break. No, after the intermission is the break. After we finish with bag two, we will move on to an intermission. And after that, we will move on to the next couple of bags. So it appears right here we have a small greebling pattern. So we have a bunch of small pieces around here, grow pieces, little one pieces to help with detailing on the set, which is a nice inclusion. Unfortunately, Lego sometimes don't add enough detailing with some of the sets, so it's good to see here some nice detailing. But then the double punch you get with that is the more small details they add, then the more they will increase the price exponentially, it seems like. For every piece of extra small detailing, they'll increase the price an exorbitant amount, which is also disappointing. We have another question from Kai Selena. What's the first Lego Star Wars Clone Wars set? Well, if we're going based off the 2002 3D show, I mm, I'm not quite sure actually. I do not remember any sets based off the 2002 or was it 3 2D show that they made between 2002 and 2008. And I do not remember what the first set based off the 2008 3D animated Clone Wars show was either. If anybody can remember that or look it up, make sure to put it in the chat and I'll make sure to put your comment up on the screen for everybody else to see so we can get that question answered. Unfortunately, it appears that we've lost a piece. I'll be back shortly after I've gotten the piece. I've returned from retrieving the piece that we lost. It appears to go here, so it was no big deal with putting this back together. Welcome to our new viewers just tuning in. If you are not sure what we're doing right now, we are currently doing a Q&A while I am building the Ahsoka Tano's T6 shuttle. So welcome to everybody who just tuned into the live stream. We have put together a decent chunk of the shuttle so far. This is what we have. It appears that this is the body of the shuttle then, with this building up into the top wing, this building up into the bottom wing, and then building out from here for the cockpit, which I'm sure we'll get to later in the video. Unfortunately, I may have built this wrong, and if so, this is going to be quite a headache to fix. So just give me a moment, everybody, while I figure out what exactly I messed up here. I see. It appears not to be too bad of an incident. I think I just put this on backwards. So that should do the trick. Always very unfortunate when mess ups happen during the build, but it's normal. So this should be able to fit the trick now, but it does not appear to do so. So looks like we have a slight issue then. Could of course push this one piece forward, but then it appears like it would be unstable. Unfortunately, everybody, I'm going to have to take a short intermission right now so I can figure out what exactly I messed up here, and then we will be back in a few minutes. I'm sorry about that, everybody. It does appear that I messed something up while we were building the shuttle, though. So I'll just get that fixed real quick while we are in intermission. Hello, everybody. We have returned from our intermission, and I have fixed the issue that we had with the Ahsoka's T6 shuttle. Unfortunately, it seems that I had moved this whole section, including this part right here with the flaps, back one stud from where it was supposed to be, which was an unfortunate mess up for me. But we've got that fixed now, so we'll continue on with the build. So unfortunately, a few of you tuned out, but to those of you still here, thank you for staying. And to those of you who left, thank you for tuning in for the first hour of my stream. I do appreciate it a lot. And unfortunately, it appears I made another mistake. I put this in at the wrong end. Now that we have that settled, hopefully there will be no more issues. It was supposed to go, one was supposed to go at the other end anyway, so it doesn't matter much that we mess it up. It appears we've had more people tuning back into the stream. Thank you. It's good to see you back. And anybody new tuning into the stream, welcome to the stream. It's good to have you here. We are currently building bag 2 of the Ahsoka Tano's T6 shuttle. It's gone well for the most part so far, with only a couple of minor mistakes and then one big mishap I had a few minutes back. It appears we've dropped another piece. I shall go retrieve it. We have retrieved the piece. Welcome to everybody who's tuned back into the stream. If you haven't already, make sure to like the video. We are up to 10 likes right now, if I remember correctly. So thank you to everybody who has liked the stream so far. And make sure, like I said, make sure to like the stream if you haven't already. It helps out a lot with making sure that it gets out to a lot of people. Our build is going well now. Hopefully I didn't just jinx it by saying that. So we'll continue on with finishing this bag up as we're almost done. We have been live streaming for a total of 1 hour now. This is getting close to being my longest stream ever. As long as everything keeps going smoothly, then this is also on track to be my longest stream ever. We just need to continue on for another half hour or so, and this will have been the longest stream I've ever done. To everybody who's tuned in for the stream, thank you for staying for however long that you've been able to stay. I do appreciate it a whole lot. Of course, I am a small LEGO channel, so I don't always get too many viewers on the streams. However, I'm always happy to engage with everybody who's decided to tune in. I appreciate all of you tuning in very much. So here we have another question from Kai Selena, who asks, have you ever heard of Darth Lego Plagueis? Unfortunately, I do not think that LEGO have ever made a version of Darth Plagueis. However, getting Darth Plagueis in LEGO would absolutely be an amazing thing to see. With the 25th anniversary minifigures that LEGO made last year, with how many obscure characters we got, such as Darth Malgus and Nien Numbed, I don't think it's outside the realms of possibility that maybe on the 25th anniversary of Revenge of the Sith in 2030, LEGO made a special Darth Plagueis minifigure for a set that has something to do with the tale of Darth Plagueis the Wise, which would be awesome to see. Make sure to leave anybody who has any thoughts on that. Make sure to leave your thoughts in the comments as well for when you think would be a good time for LEGO to potentially release their first ever Darth Plagueis minifigure, which would be amazing to see in LEGO. It appears that it is now time to use our first sticker from the sticker sheet. We need sticker 5. Hopefully we won't mess this one up. Or hopefully I won't mess this one up because I'm the one who's been messing things up for the LEGO. It has been placed about as well as can be helped. It's always tough with the round stickers in particular, so it looks okay. Now putting the sticker on the other side, we will try to get that more accurately placed. This one is of a much more reasonable accuracy, so that's good that we got that done. And now we are just finishing up bag 2. And we're now done with bag 2. So that was pretty good. We will now move on to bag 3. And I have lost another piece. So we will be taking a short, maybe 60-second intermission while I go find the pieces that I have lost while we've been streaming, which is very unfortunate because we've lost 3 pieces now. I'll go find those. The stream will be paused for just under a minute while I go look for them. We'll be back in less than a minute, so I'll make sure not to go anywhere. We have now returned from looking for the piece that I was looking for, and we now have all the pieces found. So now we will be moving on to building bag 3 of the Selkas T6 Jedi Shuttle. And we did take a lot longer than I expect building the first 2 bags. So I'm thinking after we finish bag 3, that'll be the first half, and then that'll be 3 bags done. Then on the weekend, we can do another live stream where I build the second half of the Selkas Shuttle, which would be the next 3 bags. So getting straight back into building, we have both a bag and a sub bag in this bag, which is always hilarious to see. Unfortunately, I have broken off a piece and I have no idea where it goes. Well, we'll just place that piece at a later time. Give me a moment, everybody. We need to take a short intermission. I dropped another piece. Okay, everybody, we are back. Sorry for the short delay. And another piece was almost lost to my clumsiness. To everybody still watching the live stream, thank you for tuning in for so long. We've made some great progress so far with building Ahsoka's T6 shuttle. If anybody has any more questions in the chat, make sure to ask them. It would be a shame if I just sat here silently for the rest of the build, making the third bag of the Ahsoka's T6 shuttle. It appears we are now getting to the more fun part of making the shuttle. We are putting on all the engine pieces and getting started with that. We have a question from Kai Selena, so make sure to ask away then. Of course, it appears I almost forgot to build the minifigure that we have in this section. Here we have Merrick, who is a Sith assassin in the Ahsoka Tano TV show. And unfortunately, he got killed off in about 2 seconds. He showed up, Ahsoka killed him in the episode, and then he just poofed away into green dust, which is probably the most disappointing thing that I've ever seen. He seemed like a very interesting character to have. And I do think we are going to get some of his backstory in the brand new Darth Maul Shadow Lord TV show. Unfortunately, though, he just died right there, which was very disappointing in the Ahsoka TV show. It appears we have another question in the chat from Kai Selena. Have LEGO ever made microfighter gunships? LEGO have in fact made one version of the microfighter gunships. If I recall correctly, it was in 2014 or 15, and it included a clone pilot minifigure with it, which is very interesting to get for the time, and is probably one of the only times that we've gotten a clone pilot in a while. Of course, now in 2025, we got a brand new, very accurate clone pilot in the, if I remember correctly, the V19 Torrent, which released just a couple weeks ago, which is great to see because of how long it had been since we'd seen an accurate clone pilot. But yes, that was the one time that we got a Microfighter Republic gunship. So we have now built the exciting engine part, which is great to see. We have built the main body of the Ahsoka Tano's T6 Jedi shuttle, and it's turning out pretty good so far. I like the build that we've been doing so far. Right here is going to end up being a secret compartment where you can store things in, which is nice to see. And it seems to be a quite sturdy structure so far. Of course, right now, part of it is flimsy because of how loose it is. However, once we finish building up all the pieces around here, I think that this main body part will be quite sturdy, which will be nice to see after we review it. So it appears we have some new people tuning into the stream. To the people who just tuned in, welcome to the stream. So far, we have been building the Ahsoka Tano's T6 Jedi shuttle, while I've also been answering questions from people in the chat. So if anybody who just tuned in has any new questions to ask, make sure to ask them now. I'm not sure how much longer the stream is going to go on. I plan to say finish half of the topics for today and then to do another stream either on Saturday or Sunday where we cover the other half of the topics that I planned to do. So we're going to finish building bag 3 of the Ahsoka Tano's T6 Jedi shuttle, and then after that we are going to move on to my review of Mask of Fear, and then we are most likely going to end the stream for today. I'm not sure I can go much longer here. And after that, we are going to finish up the stream either tomorrow or on Sunday with building the final 3 bags and talking about the new 2026 LEGO Star Wars leaks. We have another question from Kai Selena. Have Lego made an Old Republic Lego set before? Lego have in fact made at least two Old Republic Lego sets. There's one which is a Starfighter, which I cannot quite remember the name of, but it had some of the Old Republic Sith minifigures. And then the one which I do remember is the Old Republic Battle Pack, which had two Old Republic troopers and also two old two Old Republic Sith troopers, if you will. It was a very interesting battle pack for the time and had some awesome minifigures. These are minifigures which we've never seen again in Lego, and were basically just a one-off in that battle pack. And while they were available, it was amazing to have them there. So we have another flurry of questions from Kai Selena. Did Lego ever make a Star Wars ship battle pack? I'm not completely sure. However, if anybody else in the chat knows, make sure to let us know in the comments. And the next question is, have they ever made a Sarlacc pit? Lego have, in fact, made two versions of the Sarlacc pit, if I remember correctly. Both a very old version and then a more modernized version, which you could put under the Jabba's palace. I think it was in the mid 2010s. So you could have Jabba's palace on top, and then you could put the Sarlacc pit on the bottom. So you could have people fall in through a hatch on Jabba's palace into the Sarlacc pit. To everybody who just joined in on the live stream, welcome. It's good to see you here. And we have another question from Kai Selena. And have they ever made Delta Squad 2? Lego have never made Delta Squad in any Lego set. It would be amazing to see some Delta Squad minifigures in the future, though. Thank you to Atono. Yes, I had to, of course, make that intermediary pause so I could find the last pieces, but I am making sure to continue the live stream. I don't want to get stopped by that. Hello to all of our new viewers. We're up to 12 viewers now. I think that's the max that I've ever had in a live stream. So welcome everybody to the live stream. We are currently building Ahsoka Tano's T6 shuttle. It's good to see all of you here. We are currently on bag 3 right now. We're putting together the main engine if my instincts are correct on what we're doing right here. We have another question from Kai Selena. Have Lego ever made a Geonosian battle pack? They've never made a battle pack of Geonosians. However, they have made a battle pack of Geonosius clone troopers. So we now have the engine all in place. So everybody, I have great news. We have now broken the record for my longest ever Lego live stream. And based off how much longer I plan on streaming, it looks like it's not even going to be close. Previously, my longest Lego live stream was 1 hour and 25 minutes. And here, it looks like we're probably going to get up close to the 2-hour mark before we finish up. So it's very good to see that we beat that record. Thank you to everybody who's tuned in to watch the live stream. And we're going to continue on now with building the Ahsoka Tano's T6 Jedi Shuttle. We have another question from Kai Selena. What is a Geonosian clone trooper? A Geonosian clone trooper is basically the legion that Ki-Adi-Mundi had control of at the second battle of Geonosis, which occurred during the Geonosis arc of Star Wars: The Clone Wars in Season 2. The Geonosian stormtroopers had the dark brown armor, and are quite recognizable once you see them. So if you've seen that arc of the Clone Wars, then I'm sure you know what I'm talking about. And if you haven't, then I think you can find it by a pretty quick Google search if you look up Geonosian clone troopers Ki-Adi-Mundi. We have another question from Kai Selena. Has LEGO ever made a Jango Fett minifigure in the LEGO Clone Wars sets? LEGO have never made a LEGO Clone Wars Jango Fett. However, they have made several versions of Jango Fett based off Attack of the Clones. Okay, everybody, I'm now happy to say that we have completed bag 3 of the Ahsoka Tano's T6 Jedi Shuttle. We will now be taking a short intermission for me to have a break, and then we will come back and I will talk about what we'll do after that. So we will now be taking our break. Thank you for everybody for tuning in right now. I'll be back in a couple of minutes. Hello, everybody. We are now back after the intermission. Hello, hello. We're just switching over to the comments now so we can see what's going on. Hello, Minecraft channel. I'm glad you can make it to the stream. It's good to see you here. And yeah, we are now going to be building bag 4 of the the agenda for the rest of the stream is we're going to build bag 4 of the T6 shuttle. Then I'm going to review Mask of Fear. And then after that, we're going to end the stream for the day. And then on either Saturday or on Sunday, I will finish up with building the last 2 bags of the Ahsoka Tano's T6 Jedi shuttle, along with going over the new 2026 Star Wars leaks that we just recently got. So without further fanfare, let's get started with building bag 4. So here we have the brand new Sabine Wren minifigure, which Lego made, which came in this set, of course. It is a pretty good minifigure. It has nice leg and torso printing. The helmet is printed very well, and of course she comes with the green lightsaber that she had in the Ahsoka TV show, if I remember correctly. Of course, that whole plot point was an issue for a lot of people. I of course won't get into that right now because we're just building a Lego. But yeah, the minifigure itself is pretty decent. It's pretty good. We'll just take this minifigure now with the blasters and lightsabers and put it to the side so we can finish up building the ship. Welcome to everybody who's tuning back in to view the live stream. I'm glad to see all of you here. Happy to see everybody tuning in. Well, unfortunately, it looks like we might have a slight issue soon because the instruction manual seems to be falling apart at the seams. If I do have the time to get to making a review for this set, it appears we've dropped another piece. If I do get when I do get around to making a review for this set, that is probably something I'm gonna have to mention if the instruction manual is falling apart at the seams, because I'm not sure if that's just Lego's poor design quality control, or if it's just a one-off with my Lego. So actually, anybody else in the comments, if you ever had a instruction manual for it, make sure to tell me. So progress is going well here with bag 4. It appears to be one of the main wings of the shuttle. So I think this is going to go by relatively quickly compared to other more intricate parts of the build, which we already completed. If we can just find this piece that we're looking for, then we can get moving along. I, of course, won't be putting in the stud shooting mechanism on the stud shooters because it is extremely easy to lose all the studs, and it would be a shame to lose Lego pieces just so that I can shoot them around. So we won't be including that piece in. So we'll be taking these, taking the 2 stud shooters right here, and we'll be putting them off to the side for now. We are making good pace right now with finishing up this build. If it goes sufficiently quick, I may even get to bag 5. Moving on to the stickers now, we have to use sticker 1 for this section. This will, of course, take some careful placements. Otherwise, it has the potential to look not that good. So it appears we got the sticker in sufficiently well, so that'll do, I guess. So I think we're just about finishing up here. It appears we have another slight issue. Well, it looks like made another blunder, everybody. It looks like we have one piece placed correctly around here somewhere. I'm assuming it would have to be this one. One moment, everybody. I have dropped another piece. We have returned from our quick intermission, so now we can get fixed up with the piece that I messed up. So it appears to just be a slight mishap down here. We can just fix that real quick. This appears like it's supposed to go here. And it appears, if anything, that the issue was I just added extra, isn't supposed to go there onto there. We have not had any comments from the chat in a while, so if anything has something to say, any questions to ask, make sure to ask them now because the stream appears to be reaching its conclusion. After I'm done with this bag, we will be reviewing the Mask of Fear, and after that, we will be ending the stream for today. We've gone on for, by the time the stream ends, it'll have been just over 2 hours, which I'm very happy to see. That was my target time for the stream. So unless we get a mass influx of viewers, then I am planning on ending the stream after we have finished this last bag. We are now nearly done with the build, everybody. We shall see very shortly the first wing attached to the T6 shuttle. And we have now officially crossed the 2-hour mark of the live stream, everybody. All of those who have been staying here for the whole live stream, thank you. And we're now done with the wing, so let's get that attached. So if I remember correctly which direction we're supposed to put this in, then it should fit in around here somewhere. And now we have the wing placed. We are now done with bag 4. We finally have a new viewer. Hello, official Anakin Skywalker. It's good to see you here. Thank you for tuning into the live stream. Just to recap what you've missed, we've been having a Q&A so far, and I've built the first 4 bags of the Ahsoka T6's Ahsoka Tano's T6 Jedi shuttle. The first 4 bags of the T6 Jedi shuttle. I'm planning on, and the instruction manual has just finished falling apart. Just so everybody can take a look, so they know I'm not exaggerating. Here is a page out of the instruction manual, and here's the rest of the instruction manual. So that is definitely something I'm probably going to have to mention in my review of this set. But yes, I finished building the first 4 bags of the T6 Jedi shuttle, and after now I'm planning to build the final 2 bags tomorrow, bags 5 and bag 6. And then to end off today's stream by by reviewing the Reign of the Empire, the Mask of Fear book. We'll take short information right now, and then we'll finish up the stream. If I do decide to actually build bag 5 right now, I'll let you know in a couple minutes. So I'll be back in a couple minutes, everybody, and then we'll get back to the stream. Hello, everybody. We are back from our short intermission, and we will now be reviewing the Mask of Fear book. I will not be finishing bags 5 and 6 of the Ahsoka Tano's T6 Jedi shuttle, unfortunately. I have time constraints, which I did not account for earlier, which I have to handle. So we will finish building the last 2 bags in a stream either tomorrow or on Sunday. So make sure to tune in then so that we can build the Ahsoka Tano's T6 Jedi Shuttle. Moving on to the quick review now, before we end the stream, we have the Reign of the Empire Mask of Fear. So let me just get this in a frame. So this book is just released this year during March or April, if I recall correctly, and I would say it is a pretty good, reasonably good Star Wars book. Some books are a whole slog to get through all the way through, and this book only near the middle part was a slog to get through. It kind of the Andor TV show with a lot of the events that transpire in this book. It's connected to Andor with and it follows the perspective of Saw Gerrera, Bail Organa, and Mon Mothma. Mon Mothma in particular has never been a particularly compelling character to me, especially with all she's never been a compelling character to me for the most part. However, this book does do a reasonable job at fleshing out a lot of the background stuff that goes on with Mon Mothma, Bail Organa in the aftermath of the Clone Wars. And then, of course, all the parts with Saw Gerrera are quality all the way through. It introduces a couple of new characters, and it has some interesting plot threads which go through to the end of the book, which I think a lot of people will enjoy. It is, like I said, though, kind of a slog to get through when you get caught up in the middle, because around the middle, there's maybe a 30, 40 page section where it just feels like it's just slogging through it. And by then, I'm pretty sure quite a few people will not finish reading the book. But a lot of people who will get through that and get to the end of the book, and I'd say that they'll pretty reasonably enjoy it. So on a scale of 0 to 10, I would give this book a solid 7 out of 10. It's definitely better than average, but I wouldn't say it's on the very top quality of Star Wars books. Just to give a scale for what I consider top quality, my favorite Star Wars books were, for example, Shatterpoint with Mace Windu, based off Mace Windu, and the Darth Plagueis novel, which were both very high quality, and I'd give them 10 out of 10s. So, alright everyone, that is everything for today's live stream. If you have any last second questions, and I'll answer them. Otherwise, we are about to end the live stream, so I'll just give everybody a few seconds. So it appears we've had no questions, so thank you to everybody who tuned into the live stream. Thank you to Official Anakin Skywalker, Minecraft Channel, Kai Selena, Atono, LSOB Hip Hop, and Jonesy56. Thank you for all tuning into the channel, tuning into the live stream today. I'm glad that you were all able to tune in. I'm very happy to see that everybody tuned in, and I'm very grateful to see everybody tuning in to watch me build Legos and ask questions. I appreciate it a lot. So we will now be ending the live stream. Big thanks to everybody who tuned in once again. And if you haven't already, make sure to hit the like button and share this live stream afterwards so that you can have other people look at all the questions I answered and the build for this set, and be prepared for the next live stream tomorrow on Sunday. I'll have you do that within a few hours. So thank you, everybody, and I will see you then.